Hey guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing my Booktube-A-Thon Wrap Up. I really enjoyed watching everyone's vlogs and doing the challenges and doing the Instagram challenges, and it was a lot of fun, so I hope you guys had a good time for those who participated. That being said though, let's get right into how I did during this week. So I did end up reading 7 books, but I read 4 novels, 2 manga, and 1 poetry collection. That resulted in me completing 7 challenges for the reading challenges, 7 video challenges, and 7 photo challenges and 6 video challenges. That resulted in a number of 1,786 pages. My ratings ranged between 2 and 4 stars, so I ended up with an average of about 3.3. Get right into the books that I read. I started off with The Gunslinger by Stephen King. This book is about a man who is in the desert trying to find the man in black, and we have no idea why till like a while in, but he's basically trying to find this tower, you know, hence the series, the Dark Tower series, and it's about him in the desert and him meeting people and him trying to figure everything out, and we see his past and all this sort of jazz. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I only ended up giving this 3 out of 5 stars. It was confusing at times and it was just okay. Like people like the blurbs and stuff say it's like dreamlike and stuff, but it's like, no, it's not really. Like it was kind of whimsical in a way, but it just wasn't that great for a King novel. And I realized after that this book is older than I thought, and yeah, it's over 15 years old, so hey. But I've heard from people and from you guys in the comments that the series does get better and it does improve as you keep going. And since this is one of the first series Stephen King ever wrote, I understand why it's not perfection, but I can definitely see how his writing has improved from reading something that he wrote a long time ago and now reading his other stuff. But overall, it was all right. I do want to continue though, but I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The challenge for reading a book with yellow on the cover and reading a book that was older than you. And the next thing I read was Assassination Classroom Volume 2. This completed the challenge for reading a book by your favorite author. I really like the author that wrote these manga and illustrated them. And this manga series is basically about this teacher, and he's some octopus looking guy and he's there to destroy the world, and he is a teacher, oddly enough, so he teaches this classroom. So those students that are like the delinquents of the school that are in his class, they are trying to kill him on the daily, and it's about them and how they do with that, and about him and how he reacts in him processing everything and his facial expressions and what they mean. And it's so interesting. I read volume 1 this month as well, and it was so cool. And this volume was decent, but it wasn't as good as the first volume because we got introduced kind of to a kind of cliche female character that I just didn't care for, and I was like, okay, this is traditional, let's keep going. But it was still a lot of fun, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This is about a family who basically owns their own island. There's like several families who live on this island, and they all know each other. And there's basically like not cliques, like groups, cliques, that kind of jazz. And the main character that we follow, she is in the group. They call themselves, like she calls them the Liars, and you know. And this book was basically okay. Everyone talks about how there's this huge twist. No, I did not see the twist coming. It kind of just came out of nowhere, but it just wasn't my favorite thing. I felt like, okay, a bunch of rich people on an island complaining, yay! It was not really for me. The writing style was really meh, and I didn't really care for anybody, to be honest. I found the characters to be unrealistic and the story to be unrealistic, but overall, like, it was still alright. Like, it wasn't like horrible to read, so I ended up giving this a 2 out of 5 stars. This book completed the challenge for basically just that random pick to complete 7 books, so yeah. Next up, I read Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. This is about a girl named Rose who is a vampire, and there's different classes of vampires, and she is protecting the princess who is a vampire, of course, and they're best friends. She protects her, and they were on the run. They've been on the run for about 2 years, and they get caught and they're sent back to the academy. And it's about their experience there and all the troubles that go on and all the different issues that arise and all the different vampire stuff that comes up and the drama. And you know, I thought I'd hate this. I thought it'd be horrible. I thought I'd despise this book. I was really not wanting to pick it up, but I picked it up and I actually really loved it. It was actually kind of good. I really liked Rose, and in terms of like not much happened in this book, you can tell it was mostly a setup book, and there was a lot of info dumps about the types of vampires and the types of this, but it was still so enjoyable. Like, I really liked it. And I gave it, this book completed the challenge. This book completed the challenge for a read and watch a book to movie adaptation, because I did see the movie as well. I did watch it on Netflix, and yes, so this, I really enjoyed this, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I read Denman Wonderland Volume 1, and I really enjoyed this as well. I have seen the first like 5 or so episodes of the anime, so I'm already like aware of what's happening and like what's gonna happen and the characters, so I already went into it with like a love for this story. But basically it's about this boy, and in his classroom, he's just sitting around in his class, and his whole classmates get murdered, and he's just there and he just lives. So they're like, he must have done it, so they sent him to prison. And it's like this really circusy type of prison. It's called Dead Man Wonderland, and it's just so bizarre, and it's just about him there and the people he meets and the protocols there and all the things there. It's really interesting. I would check that out, but I really ended up enjoying it. Again, I went into it knowing what was going to happen. I went into it with a love for the characters and everything that goes on. So yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I read it really quickly. It was nice, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So I hope to continue with that one. So next up, I read Frostbite by Rochelle Mead, and this is the sequel to Vampire Academy. And this book was definitely a step up from book 1. It was really good, really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really loving this series. I even became dedicated, and I bought all of them. I did not think it'd be this good. I just thought it'd be a bunch of like vampires like strutting around and their little boyfriend drama, but no, there's actually like action going on. There's actually things happening, and I wasn't expecting Rose to be how she is, so I was really happy about that. This completes the challenge for a book you discovered through Booktube, because this series is obviously mentioned a ton on here, and yeah, I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. My final read of this week, I read Milk and Honey, and this is a poetry collection, and I was a little bit disappointed by this one. I went into it with really high expectations just because I see it everywhere. I've heard amazing things. The Goodreads rating is like 4.47. Like, that's the average. Like, holy, that's a good average. And so the point is that I was disappointed in the end. The book does have trigger warnings for rape, so keep that in mind before picking this book up. I like the illustrations, and some of the lines were really nice, but it just didn't hit me like a poetry collection should hit me, and I just couldn't relate like on any level. So I was just a little bit disappointed. Well, I was kind of disappointed, but I understand why people love it so much, but then again, it just didn't hit me, and I just didn't love it. It was just okay. So yeah, I still ended up giving it a 3.25 out of 5 stars. These are the books that I do own physically that I read during the Booktube-A-Thon, and then these other 3. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the daily uploads, and I hope you enjoyed this wrap-up video. Let me know what you read and how you did. I would love to hear it, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon with a new video.